is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is actually pretty ironic in the heat of all the stuff going on with the censorship on YouTube, how companies like Coca-Cola and all these big companies have been pulling their ads from YouTube in an attempt to censor pretty much everybody on YouTube. But for the most part, those of us who are in this, community of exposing the New World Order know this is really targeted at us. If they really just went after us and not some of the bigger channels, then people would wake up and say, wait a minute, it's a little bit obvious here. So they're pretending this is a massive, control operation against everyone on YouTube and censorship across the board. But this is really their way of saying, listen, if you're speaking out against the system, you're fake news, we won't let you make any money off of this, we'll push you off of YouTube, yada, 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 right? So what we have, ironically, is Pepsi releasing an ad. So with all this controversy about, fake news and us exposing the propaganda that they continue to push in the mainstream media, Pepsi releases a commercial with Kendall Jenner. Excuse me, I got some of these Kardashians mixed up because there's so many of these witches, which is promoting and inciting these same divide and conquer tactics that we're all trying to expose. So what it is it shows a giant protest, likely a funded protest by George Soros himself. Too bad they didn't have him in the commercial. But we see people out there protesting and the police standing, because that's what we see now in America, right? They've created this divide and conquer protest mentality, whether it's feminist people now protesting, whether it's gay people protesting against Trump, whether it's this race war, you name it. This is part of the plan of divide and conquer. And this is Pepsi promoting it and saying it's a good thing because they have Kendall Jenner who's doing a photo shoot. Of course, they show a Muslim. Of course, they show black people. Of course, they show angry white people holding up peace signs, pushing the Muslim ban, that agenda as well. Also, what a surprise with, we see propaganda with the wall because we see, Mexicans, we see everything, right? We see every nation of nationality. We see all these people who are seeing the protests who are now inspired to join the protest, which is part of the propaganda. And of course, we see some very disturbing looking transgender people, of course, holding up the peace sign. Almost makes you want to vomit on yourself. But the embarrassment that has become our world. Look at this, right? We see somebody throwing up the devil horns. I mean, can people not see the agenda here? But it wouldn't be a Pepsi commercial, right, without having to pump the transgender into us. I mean, from what I hear, Kendall Jenner might be one as well. From a lot of people that do video, I wouldn't be surprised. But look at this, right? The gay agenda, you name it. Every agenda is in this Pepsi commercial, and it all culminates with what? Everybody uniting as one. This is happening right now. This is real. This is how mind control works. People out there see this, they feel inspired to join it. They got the music playing, we are the chosen, and saying, oh yeah, the majority of these people are chosen for hell, unless they repent and get saved. Unfortunately, there's Christians that are joining in on this who don't have a clue what the end game is here, and that they're being completely deceived. And all they really need to do, I don't understand how Christians fall for this. Have you not read about the Tower of Babel? And what happened there, and what God did, and why? It's not supposed to be one. But people are too blind to that. Christians are as well. It's scary. It's scary. Maybe not as scary as these two men wearing lipstick. This is right out of a horror movie for me. This should be the new leads in the next Friday the 13th movie, I think. Holy moly. This is absolute propaganda at its finest. So she's doing a photo shoot. She sees the giant protest outside, almost like it's no big deal because protests are becoming so common these days. They're really trying to make it like it's not a big deal. And Kendall Jenner, who of course is a member of the Kardashian witch clan, who is potentially, they are some of the most demonic, satanic people in Hollywood. And that's one of the reasons that they get force-fed down everyone's throat, because they're high-ranking witches. We even see Kendall Jenner a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, sporting a New World Order shirt. Now some people say, oh, it's an old wrestling group. Yeah, I'm aware of the New World Order, the wrestling group. But let's not be naive about the subliminal messaging. Ted Turner who was the owner of that wrestling organization at the time, is a globalist who pushes for population control and depopulation. And keep in mind that the New World Order Wrestling Group hasn't been around in probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years. It's been a long time. And at a fashion show where, all these Satanists get together and they call it art, you see her walking around in a NWO basic t-shirt. Oh, you don't think that means anything? Give me a break. Why would she be wearing it? Why would she be sporting it? Why would it be front page news? Which it was when it happened. But back to the commercial, you can see people holding up the satanic peace sign. The peace sign itself, like most symbols, really it goes back to Wicca and Satanism and the occult. Because a lot of these symbols, if not all of them, including the cross, which I understand people, still wear the cross and honor Jesus Christ, but it's still, the origins of the cross date back to, Wicca, as well as the upside down cross and all that stuff. But the peace sign is a symbol used in the occult and in the baptism, or I should say the satanic baptism of new members who join into the occult. They're given a wheel, and they break the arms down on the wheel and form the peace sign. It is their way of denouncing Jesus Christ and saying that he is not the Messiah. And for them to accept Satan as their king, that is part of the ritual they take before being baptized in blood and semen and all sorts of disgusting, vile things. So we see people, of course, holding the peace sign. Yeah, I get it. People are going, come on, world peace. And you see in this commercial, they're pushing the one movement, but they're also inciting and trying to get people to look at these protests and these, events as if they're positive, as if it's a good thing, that everybody should join in. Even the people on the other side, because what she does is she goes up to the police officer and hands him a Pepsi, and he drinks it and smiles. Right? We saw that staged event where the black woman went up to the police a few months ago during all the race war propaganda that was going on. A completely staged, staged photo op is pretty much what it was when the woman went up to the police officers who were, holding guns and stuff like that, and she walked right up to them and pretty much was giving herself up to them to be arrested. I mean, it's mocking that, but that was a staged photo shoot. That was a staged event. And they're even telling you that here, because that's exactly what this is. So Kendall Jenner joining in on it. You see the mind control that's involved here with Pepsi, who is, another one of these companies that's trying to get rid of channels like this and anyone else out there that's exposing their agenda. You see how they get people out there to look at it? They go, oh, Kendall Jenner, she's a sex symbol. Everybody seems to love her. She's part of the Kardashian cult. She's doing her modeling shoot or whatever she's doing. There's a riot protest outside. She joins in on it. Okay, so they're telling you by following here. There's the false idol joining in on the protest and the riot. This is subliminal mind control is what it is. Some people look at it and they go, oh, they're promoting liberalism, or this is promoting one is what it's promoting. She joins in with all of the people who are a part of this. This ultimately this divide and conquer tactic is leading to one everything. That's what it's leading to, a one world government, a one world religion. That's what it's all about. So the division is temporary. The division is to lead to a one world government. That's why the division is here. Because they're going to divide, then they're going to conquer, and then it's going to be one. So they want you to participate in these protests. They want you to think that it's a good thing to be involved in these protests. Meanwhile, these protests are funded and staged by the globalists who are behind it, who are behind this whole New World Order agenda. But people out there don't see it. And even people out there who are, somewhat awake see this, and they think it's some type of a shot at Donald Trump. They don't get it. They don't get what they're trying to say. The reason that she gives the police officer the Coke, and the reason that the Pepsi, and the reason that there's people, holding up peace signs is because ultimately the Antichrist comes in the name of peace and acceptance. So she's saying, look, we need to accept all of this surrounding, you have the Muslims back there, you have the Black Rights Matters movement pretty much represented back there. You have, they show some gays in the crowd or appear to be gay people. They show everything. But nonetheless, they're showing all of the agendas they're pushing. And then they're even, they're showing them united as one. And now the Pepsi symbolizes, look, we're all in this together. And the cop drinks it and he smiles. And this is what this whole thing is. The end result of all of this is going to be. Is the cops eventually are going to take off their police uniforms and join in on the protests and the riots. because soon this is going to be martial law. But it's going to be martial law under what? It's going to be under world peace. It's going to go, people are going to hear, well, we're under martial law, but now there's no more cops killing people. Now there's no more protests. Now we all can just get along. There's no more bigotry. There's no more Christians, pretty much is what they're saying. And that's the subliminal messaging. And that's what these commercials are designed for. So it's ironic, isn't it, with all the stuff that's going on, with Google being willing to take a $1 billion hit on advertising, with them trying to smoke all of us out, saying that, we're promoting, terrorism, and we're promoting this is them saying join in on the protest, join in on the revolution. They're trying to be cool and hip, right? Say, look, it's a revolution, protesting this, get together. And then at the end, culminating with everybody being one. And the Antichrist, like I said, comes in the name of world peace, comes in the deception, a massive deception of love. And that's why you constantly hear the celebrities saying one and love, right? Because those are things that people jump on board for. They've already been conditioned with the word one. Every musician has a song called One, right? And they might be talking about who knows what in the music and the lyrics, but people out there hear it, and their mind automatically thinks of unity and one. They don't realize they're talking about a one world government. Everything under the eye, the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, is what they're saying. So Kendall Jenner, no surprise, like I said, a member of the Kardashian clan, someone who's worn New World Order shirts, whose home has the black and white checkered floor. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? I mean, look at the floor of the Kardashian house. The connection, it's just amazing to me that people can't see through this stuff. And there are people who are upset about this Pepsi ad, but they're upset for the wrong reasons, because they think it's some type of liberal, liberal versus right kind of a movement. They don't understand that the end goal for them is one. It's not liberal versus right. This is divide, which they're doing. That's why right now, the liberal versus conservative thing has never been as crazy as it is now. It's never been like this. They've always been opposite sides, right? One side's, pro this, the other side's pro that, and they bicker about it. Now, it's an angry, violent type of anger for one another, right? The conservatives can't stand the liberals. The liberals, they can continue to, get more crazy with the, the transgenders, and, we need to accept 5-year-olds deciding what sex they are. And it's all about division. So they're creating this massive, massive division amongst us to bring us all together as one. And I keep saying it because it's important to realize that. This is the mind control that Pepsi's pushing. And don't forget, Pepsi Life Water, which are exposed as a 666, the all-seeing eye symbolism, right on their logo. Pepsi has, all sorts of disgusting ingredients I talked about. So, again, these kind of videos are not advertiser friendly, but you know why they're not? Because they don't want people dissecting what they're really trying to say. People go, well, they just want to create buzz. No, they're subliminally getting you to say, oh, that's really cool. Hey, maybe we should go and get involved in the protests. Kendall Jenner is now, celebrities are getting involved, right? And everybody follows these false idols, these celebrities. So by them getting involved and getting into these protests, they want people to follow and get involved. Divide and conquer at its easiest, at its best. And now they're going to start bringing more and more celebrities into it, because that's a way to get people to get involved. Women will get involved. Oh, Kendall Jenner. Guys, oh, Kendall Jenner. Oh, yeah, cool. No, don't fall for the deception. This is all part of their plan. And again, I'm sure maybe George Soros funded this commercial. Maybe after he donated some money to Comet Ping Pong, he also funded this commercial for Pepsi. Because it's no different. All these people here in the video are actors, just like all the people you see on TV at some of these protests rioting in the middle of the night are bought and paid for, set up. It doesn't mean there's not some people that sprinkle in that are really there on their own. It's all part of the show, folks. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.